Welcome to Snooze Worthy, a podcast by Parenting Practice of Colorado, your window into the world of pediatric sleep, where we explore the science behind sweet dreams, effective sleep teaching techniques, and all the intriguing nuances of your child's slumber. I'm your host, Lindsey Burchfield.
And I'm Paige LeGault. Together, we're here to guide you through the labyrinth of parenting, offering insights, strategies, and science-backed advice to make parenting during those early childhood years not just manageable, but truly memorable.
As pediatric sleep specialists, we've seen the transformational power of sleep in countless families.
And because parenting is a journey, we won't stop at sleep. We'll provide you with valuable parenting tips for every aspect of early childhood, from managing tantrums to fostering creativity and hitting those all-important milestones.
So whether you're a seasoned parent in need of a sleep overhaul or a new parent preparing for the joys and challenges of early childhood, Snooze Worthy is your trusted resource. Join us as we unravel the science of sleep, share practical advice, and make parenting truly snooze-worthy. Welcome back to Snooze Worthy, the podcast where we help tired parents get the rest they deserve. Hi, I'm Lindsey Burchfield.
And I'm Paige LeGault. And since February is all about love, today we're talking about a sleep topic that can be a major source of stress for couples: co-sleeping.
Yep. So whether you're a family bed household or you're just trying to reclaim your space, co-sleeping can bring up a lot of emotions. And sometimes it's comfortable, sometimes it's frustrating, and sometimes, just let's be honest, it's downright exhausting.
So in today's episode, we're breaking down the pros and the cons of co-sleeping, how to compromise when partners have different sleep needs, and what to do if one of you is ready for a sleep change, but the other isn't.
Yep. So if your bed is feeling a little too crowded, or if sleeping is just becoming a relationship struggle, this episode is totally for you.
Okay, let's be honest. How many of you couples out there are secretly in a sleep war? One of you is exhausted, the other one is restless or resentful, and neither of you are getting the sleep you need.
If that's you, just know you're not alone. We hear about this all of the time with our clients. So whether it's a co-sleeping struggle, or you just have different schedules, or just needing more space at night, sleep can definitely be a point of contention between relationships. And so today we're going to talk about how to overcome that.
So Lindsey, let's break down some of the biggest sleep struggles we hear from couples. First, co-sleeping with kids. One partner loves it and the other feels like they're getting pushed off the bed or completely out of the room.
Yep. And then there's the issue of one parent being the default parent for night wake-ups. I think this is the thing we hear most frequently when we get on calls, especially with mamas. Sorry, dads, but most of the time, dads are sleeping through all of those wake-ups.
Yep. And then we've got couples on opposite sleep schedules. One person's a night owl, the other crashes at 9 p.m. Or maybe one is working night shift and one works 10, 40-hour weeks. Whatever it is, one couple might even want more attention, snuggles, and affection, and the other is, leave me alone. I'm going to sleep. Do not touch me.
And to be honest, like, all of this can create stress in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And over time, exhaustion just wears out on your intimacy and your connection with one another.
So let's talk about solutions. So first, communication is key. Instead of silently suffering, sit down and talk to your partner about what's not working, what does feel good and is working. And I would just make sure that everyone is heard and has that time to share those needs. We don't want to do this at 3 a.m. when one of us is emotionally breaking down and crying and the other one is half asleep. So make sure you set aside actual time to talk where your kiddos maybe have care, you are as rested as you can be, and everyone is on neutral ground.
And so many couples just assume that the other person is just getting it, but they don't. Let's be honest about that.
They cannot read our minds.
They cannot read your mind. And so maybe one parent feels like they're doing everything at night and the other one is getting interrupted sleep. And to be honest, that was me and my husband, specifically with our second. I was just at my wit's end. I needed a little bit of help. And maybe also one of you wakes up exhausted and then you resent your partner because they aren't as tired as you are feeling. And really, the truth is, no one wins when sleep isn't a priority in the family and for both of you.
And it brings us to our first practical solution. So, splitting up nighttime responsibilities is a game
Game
changer.
changer.
This is where
Yep.
I'm living in postpartum right now. And so, if one person is the default parent at night, can you split the night into shifts and make it so that way everyone gets a little bit of sleep? Maybe one parent covers wake ups from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. and the other one from 2 a.m. to 6. It doesn't really matter how you dice the schedule. Just sit down and talk about it and find what works for both parents to get a solid chunk of uninterrupted sleep.
Yeah. And this is especially helpful for newborns or toddlers who wake up frequently. And if you're breastfeeding,
Yep.
maybe your partner takes over early morning wake ups so you can sleep in a little bit longer. But the key here is making sure one person isn't always running empty while the other is well rested. It's totally about balance.
Yeah. So now let's talk about co-sleeping challenges because we know this is a big one. We see it all the time. I predominantly work with co-sleeping families. Some couples are totally fine with it and it's everything they imagined and there's no reason to touch it because it's working for them. And while other families feel like it's taking a major toll on their relationship between each other and their children, their sleep, their health, their mental health, but our rule of thumb is if one partner in the relationship is feeling like it's taking a toll, you need to sit down and have a conversation with each other about it. Consider transitioning your child gradually. Start with a crib or toddler bed next to your bed. So your child is still close, but they have their own space. You could even pull one parent out and do the shift work. So that way someone is getting better sleep in a different environment. But once you all adjust, you can continue that gradual process of moving your child out fully, moving the other parent back in. Just push and pull a little bit till you get there.
Yeah. And you can remember, right? Co sleeping doesn't have to be all or nothing. Some families do a mix.
Yeah.
Maybe their child starts in their own bed and joins them in the early morning. Others find success using a floor mattress in their room as a transitional step. But the most important thing is that both parents feel comfortable with the arrangement. And I'll say that again here at Parenting Practice, we believe in independent sleep. But with that being said, if a co sleeping relationship is working for your family, that is amazing. Please keep doing what works for you.
Yeah.
But if somebody in that family unit is struggling with the arrangement, it's not working anymore, then really consider making a change so that everybody can feel heard, seen, and be just comfortable in their sleep space.
So now let's talk about those opposite sleep schedules. Again, we see this a ton, especially when one partner is an early bird or someone is a night owl.
If one of you wants to be in bed by 9 p.m. and then the other stays up until midnight, it can totally feel like you're just living separate lives. You're just passing by one another. But there are always ways to make that work. So, first, compromise. Maybe the night owl comes to bed a few minutes early a week to stay connected, and then the early bird stays up later once in a while for just some quality time.
Yeah, I love that. I go to bed early. My husband likes to stay up late. So we have to find things that work in those middle grounds for both of us. We also would suggest try using white noise, separate blankets, blackout curtains. So that way, when the night owl doesn't enter that environment, it's not waking up the early sleeper or disrupting them. And also considering your phone alarms as well, making sure that when you do enter that environment, your phone is tucked in for sleep. Your alarms are set for the next day and they're not blaringly loud for your partner.
Absolutely.
That's a big one.
Yes. And to be honest, some couples actually find that sleeping separately for part of the night actually improves their relationship.
Yeah.
I know that sounds funny, but it absolutely can be something that it just improves the relationship. And it doesn't mean that there's a problem in the relationship. And honestly, it means that you could be prioritizing quality sleep so that you can be a better partner during the day. And that's really what we're striving here when we are prioritizing sleep for the family.
Absolutely. Especially with cases where someone's a light sleeper and
Yep.
they don't fall back asleep easily is where we would consider separate rooms.
Absolutely.
For sure. And remember, whatever sleep challenges you're facing as a couple, there's a solution. The key is to find a system that works for both of you so that neither person feels like they're constantly running on fumes.
So at the end of the day, sleep isn't just a personal need. It's a relationship need. So, supporting each other's rest is one of the best things that you can do for your partnership.
If sleep is causing tension, take some time to sit down and come up with a plan together. And if you need help, that's what we're here for.
So, are you struggling to balance sleep in your relationship? If so, book a sleep evaluation call with us today, and we can help you create a plan that works for your entire family.
And if this episode resonated with you, hit subscribe and share it with a fellow tired parent. Sleep well, and we'll see you next time.